Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is your boy, Bobby Braceface, and usually we have our show Nocturnal Talks, but since it's the daytime, I like to call it Midday Monologues. So, welcome to Midday Monologues. It's been a lot going on in 2020. Let's just hop right into it. If you're listening to this and you're a conscious person, adult, you don't even have to be an adult to know what's going on and to really feel the grasp of everything that's going on, because 2020 has made a heck of a wallop on humanity. Like, it's some real stuff going on right now, like some real ripple effect, Jurassic Park, it's coming type stuff right now. I mean, if you don't get that reference, then I don't know. You got to go watch Jurassic Park. Spoiler alert. They don't make it. Some of them don't make it. Dennis Nedry, or whatever his name is, Newman doesn't make it. Anyway, I want to talk about this revolutionary movement that is going on right now. And I don't want to just say the 3-word title that kind of really sums a good chunk of everything that's going on, which is Black Lives Matter, because it's not even about just Black Lives Matter. It's lives matter. And the fact that so many black and brown lives are being so senselessly taken, that's where the big problem is. And that's why we a lot needs to be done right now. Like, change, unbelievable change. Like, we need to make a complete 180 in our entire system. The only problem with that is it's going to change everything, and it's going to be uncomfortable for all of us. Those that have suffered from oppression and those that haven't. And there's a big chunk of individuals that have never, well, I'll say there's a group, a racial group that has never experienced oppression, the way oppression is truly defined. And I'm not going to get into all that. Like, I don't even have a thesaurus in front of me, so I'm not going to get into the definition of oppression. But anyway, there's just a lot that's needed to change, and that we are in the midst of this change right now. In the last century alone, like, literally only 100 years ago, not even a full 100 years ago, women couldn't vote, blacks couldn't vote, blacks didn't have civil rights, not even a whole 100 years ago. Like, and for the fact that people don't realize how much is still, everything that was going on back then, how it's in a sense is still happening right now. That's because you guys weren't oppressed. You don't understand what a person of color goes through every day, man or woman. And it's not like we're constantly being whipped and beaten and, all these different things. That's not what's going on. It's not like that. It's worse because it's a mental and it's a psychological type of abuse, and I wasn't even going to go here, but since we're here, let's just keep going. Cause looking on the outside in, even me as a black man and a person of color, I was fortunate enough to not have to have endured some of the things that people that look like me have endured. And that's because I was fortunate enough that my parents, they did everything in their power to raise me up in a good environment, despite anything that they were experiencing. And that was like their priority. They just really, they did everything that they could to bring me up in a stable enough environment. And, it's nobody's household is perfect. Nobody's childhood is perfect. No parents are perfect. Nobody is perfect, but we try to do the best we can. But unfortunately, sometimes some situations don't have that luxury because they don't have the mental capacity to build a well enough or a stable enough foundation for their children. So they're born into crap, and then they bring their own children into crap. So this is how you get these cycles of I don't even know like how to really say it, but you get these people, and you get these environments that are unsafe, and they seem hostile and everything. And that's because this is how they grew up, these people. And a lot of times they don't mean any harm. We are all animalistic as humans, and we all have our comfort zones, our comfort situations. We all have our communities, and our communities make us who we are. Like if any one of us was born in the jungle, we'd all be Mowgli. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't criticize. Now, okay, so you have the choice to do right from wrong, but if all you know is, let's say, like Aladdin in a pool, you know what I'm saying? These are the type of conversations that we have on Nocturnal Talks. So this is the same kind of conversations we're gonna have on Midnight Monologues, because it's like these examples are so, it's like you get it. So all right, so let's say Aladdin in a pool, like they were good dudes, but they would steal for food, and the society didn't really understand that. They were just known as street rats. So, and that's someone, we understand Aladdin in the pool because we were on the journey with them. But what about the guards? The palace guards. They're the police. They are they're the rich. They're kind of looked up and respected and feared. Just like out here, we got the cops, or we have people who live in nice neighborhoods like the Palace or whatever, or upper class Agrabah or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, and speaking of that, speaking of just like media and just like people of color and animation and stuff like that. So, The Simpsons and Family Guy, The Cleveland Show, a lot of these popular animated shows have animated characters that are people of color, but they're voiced by white people. White people are basically voicing some characters that are not white, basically. And that's this movement with everything that's going on. They're stopping that. And the great thing about this, is so very simple but yet so important, is that this is about everybody. This is about all human beings and maintaining peace so that we can continue to build and, just live, because what else is there to do but live and do the best that we can at everything that we do. Like this is humanity. Like we're really great at the best of us. So let's just keep it up. Let's just keep supporting each other and building, because that's what humanity is all about, right? Sure. Anyway, so black voice actors will not be voicing these black characters anymore, and that's a really interesting thing. And it's just very interesting. It's great to see that people are listening instead of being defensive and saying, "Oh, that slavery was 100 years ago," whatever, because it wasn't 100 years ago. It's today. I'm glad that people are just finally listening, because the things that is going on is just terrible, right? So I want to jump over to the MCU, because our media it's important, like representation of our real life. Yeah, we want to escape with our media, with our movies and everything, but they reflect our real life a little bit, and we should just take that into consideration, at least subtly. And I hate like when fun movies and whatever, when they get like real extra political, and it's like they're trying to put across an idea or a point. I don't really like that too much, but subtle things are okay. That's great. So anyway, Anthony Mackie, known as Falcon, Sam Wilson, Papa Doc formerly, he got real candid during an interview, and he was like, it's pretty crazy how, he's like, I've been doing these Marvel movies for a couple years. Like I've been in a good handful of Marvel movies by now, and every single Marvel movie that I do, it's a white director, white producers, predominantly white cast, white makeup artists, white costume designers. All these white people are doing everything, which is great. Fine. I'm glad you guys got jobs. But when the entirety of the Black Panther production is black director, black cast, black producers, black costume designers, all these black people are doing all these amazing things, because that movie was great, for the little things, the subtleties of that movie were great, despite whatever, a lot of people are like, oh, Black Panther's so overrated. Well, I thought it did a really good job. Like, it's Marvel. Marvel has a great reputation, but Black Panther not only did a great job as a Marvel movie, it was a great black movie. And what I mean by a black movie was by its representation. Like, Black Panther is, and I hate to say this word, but it's so woke. There's so many small little details that are really, really great. And even though it is a Hollywood movie, and Hollywood movies, just like Anthony Mackie said, they're so, they don't really get, they're kind of full of it. So that's just that. But I want to jump over to Doctor Strange too, because, and not that this is kind of connected to the race thing, but not really, because Chiwetel Ejiofor is returning to Doctor Strange too. He plays Baron Mordo in the first Doctor Strange. So he the way the first Doctor Strange ended basically was he was like, he saw the errors, or he saw what the Ancient One was doing and how she was using the power, using the dark magic or whatever, and he was just like, well, this is like an infection that wizards or sorcerers or whatever they are, and he's like, I gotta just get rid of all of you because all of you guys are bad. So I don't know. Well, they'll have to get a little bit deeper into his logic in the next one. But yeah, so he's returning, and probably the coolest thing about Doctor Strange 2 is Sam Raimi is directing. Sam Raimi, the man, the master, the myth, the man, the legend. He did Darkman, he did Evil Dead, and one of my personal favorites, the original Spider-Man motion picture, the 2002. He did the trilogy. You guys know that. Anyway, so that's really cool because we may get a Spideyverse, shout out. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some type of a Spideyverse. Like, I better see Toby in that suit. I just need some action. You know what I'm saying? I need some Spider-Man action in this Doctor Strange movie. It's going to be so dope. I love the first Doctor Strange. It was just, the style was really cool. Scott Derrickson isn't directing this time, but I got a lot of faith. I got all the faith in Sam Raimi because he is a master at this stuff, and he's going to make this so funny, so crazy and tripped out, and it's just going to be really, really cool. And yeah, it's really, really something to look forward to. And if we'll even care about, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of years. We're not even out of this situation right now. We're still in the storm right now. Thankfully the storm has kind of let up a little bit, so we will see what happens after this. Thank you so much for listening. You have been listening to Bobby Braceface, and this is Midday Monologues.